Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Definitely, this is my first visit to a special school in Ba. I have already visited two other special schools. One was in Nandi, and I visited one yesterday in Singatoka. And I do realize that the special schools need different structure and different types of resources. Because there is a huge challenge to cater for the different needs that arises with special children. But the visits to different schools, different special schools, shows that schools are at different stages. Some are pretty well developed, but this school definitely needs a lot of help. And I was told that the school was burned down and then you have moved here temporarily. And as you know, with COVID also, the education grant remained the same. There was no deduction. Right. The best we can do is ask the committee to relook at the plan, the kind of materials you are using to build these structures. Right, so I will request that the committee revisits the plan and see how you can reduce the cost, and based on that then you make a submission, and the submission, once we receive it in the next budget cycle, we will try and push that in. But in the meantime, with your submission, we will also try and see whether the donor agencies can assist. I'll tell you, I mean, I went to Lekutu Secondary School in Bua, and the government has built temporary classroom. And those temporary classroom, the only problem is that it's category 3. But what we want is category 5. But that category 3 classrooms are done so beautifully that the management is saying we will never ever let this building go because it's done so well. You walk in, the way it's presented, and it's done in a very cost-effective way. So that's what I'm saying. We have to look at the most cost-effective way of designing and the kind of materials that we use. So that would be something that I'll be proposing to the management team along with the district officers. You need to work with the management team, come up with a proposal, and Ritesh, you need to bring it to my attention. Then I'll start having my discussion with the donor partners. Right. I think it's extremely important that we get this school up quicker, and there is no way we can waste any more time on it. Yeah. So I will work as I have said, as much as I can with the donor partners and also through the government budgetary process, and then we'll come back to you. When did you acquire the land? Which year was that?
We acquired it in late 2018.
Late 2018. Okay. I think what we need to do is we need to start somewhere. In other words, I mean, you have done a great job by getting the designs done. You've got the land acquired, and even if we can get the earthworks done, then the next step is the building. Yeah.
Like as with the earthwork and the fencing, so that even if we go to any donor, we can say that these resources are there. So
Yeah. I mean, earthwork needs to be done just to save time, and the earthwork needs to settle as well. So it's better to get that part done, and I will get started with the discussion with the donors and see how we can move this faster. Right. But for that, what I need is what you're telling me, but that needs to go into a proposal giving a very clear indication what you are catering now and number of children who also need help. Yeah? And what is this school offering, or what is your vision for the future? So include both. That will help us in our discussion. What about income generating? Have you thought about the income generating projects? Because there's something interesting I saw in Singatoka.
With the Singatoka Special School.
Yeah, because Singatoka Special School is supported by Outrigger Resort. And they have moved into income generating by liaising with the Singatoka hospital, and they do all the linens and do the stitching and branding of items by putting Singatoka hospital on the towels, the bed sheets and all that. So they are generating, and these are the training they provide to the students. So they're the ones who are actually helping in all this. But I guess it's an early stage, but what I'm saying that we need to look along that way so that the organization grows and facilities improve. We do understand there is a acute shortage of teachers in special education, also in ECE, teaching the young ones. These are two areas where we need to have more trained teachers. And I agree with you that training is required. We will be talking to FNU. We have already highlighted it to them. In fact, we've been having a series of meetings with teacher training institution, and also all the teachers who are registered with teacher registration body, just like the lawyers, the engineers and everyone else. The teachers themselves need to need training on a yearly basis, right? So our job is to ensure that these trainings are available and teachers can then sign up. It can be during holidays, it can be after classes, whatever. So that provision we have already spoken to with teacher training institutions, that they need to provide more of those courses. And I totally agree with you. Normal teaching is different from teaching that you need to provide to special children, and it's a different ball game altogether. But you know what? I have learned a lot from special education schools in terms of how you need to set up the school for ECEs, for little ones. And that's what I've been talking to when I go to the primary schools, that you need to move away from the way you set up your class 1, very military style desk and chair, and everybody sits in that way. But for the children, it has to be more of social and mental development, creativity. So they need to be sitting in a secular way, in a particular way, where they can interact with one another for the communication and everything else, interactive development. Yeah. Okay, so we'll take that on board, and I'm also encouraging the existing teachers. I mean, if they are interested in this particular area, then it's very important that they take up the education in that area. TELS is providing scholarship. TELS is providing the loan facility for special education in ECE, as well as counseling, plus few other subject area. So that's the opportunity that the teachers have. I don't know about the special school, but I know about the mainstream schools. They do have vocational schools that teaches carpentry and other stuff. It's like they call it certificate 1, and then they move into FNU. They can, right? So there is a way to move into FNU. Only thing we need to look at is the special schools to understand better how we can devise a system so that even special school children out of a special school can also go into the mainstream education. Yeah. You wouldn't believe it, I've been visiting schools. I just love going to the schools because I was a teacher before, right? And I was a teacher trainer before. So I love going to schools. And so far, in my short appointment, I have already been to more than 50 schools, right? But we have 1,700 plus schools. So it's not going to be possible to visit all the schools, but I have been trying my level best. Second point that I want to make is regarding the communication. We are changing some communication where the schools, including school management as well as head of schools, can communicate directly with the permanent secretary. When it comes to your grant, whether it comes to your building, whatever your needs are, you communicate directly with the permanent secretary. We have seen that in the past, the communication channel is so winded that by the time it reaches permanent secretary's desk, it's like 2 years. And we don't want that. I just want to hold everyone accountable and responsible, as I expect the teachers to be responsible. I want my team at headquarters to be equally responsible and be facilitators, not authoritative, where you have everything and then you say, okay, we'll look into it. No. Because we all are employed because of our children. Right, so that's where the accountability comes in. So you can make your request to the permanent secretary, and then there is a process where she'll be feeding it into the different heads of section. And if the heads of sections they require additional information, then they'll come to the district office. But if your application is so crystal clear with all the photos, justification and everything, then there is no need for any referrals to the district level. It can be dealt with, right? So that was the other point that I wanted to make. Okay? And I better go. Thank you very much, everyone.
Gani sok aku.
At least the smaller rainfalls.
Yeah, true.
I mean, the bigger ones, when you have a cyclone that's beyond anyone's control. And you have correctly said that if it's to do with Moto River, then there is nothing. Yeah. All right.
And also, madam, this area the drainage.
Yes.
Before when we were young, normally if we clear all the drain this side, there's a main drain beside the blue building.
Yes.
Coming to the entry and coming to the main river. Now that is blocked. When water rises up and want to decide, it can't go because there is no room for water to go. So that's why when the water goes down, too much and mud comes here. When the water flow will be easy, the mud will also go in. So when water goes, it goes slowly, the mud will
Settles.
down to the base. That's why we are getting too much mud here. The main problem is that the drainage is blocked. So now we can use this drain, clear the drain to the road, to the river. At least the water will run.
Flow.
Yeah.
When do you intend to do that?
I don't know.
When do you intend to clear that drain?
As soon as possible we can clear that drain, it will be much better for us. Because when the water is locked over here, it can't go anywhere.
Right.
It needs space to go. So the drainage is very big problem. Not now, from the previous years like this. But there are many things going up to the field to the main river. Every time, someone was making clear the problem. They were looking after that. After some time, they stopped. So we have got no drains water to go. There's a big problem for you.
Those things belong to the country planning program. It's their side. We have problems that we are having, so we'll have ours continue the main drains. So once that blocks, everything is.
Right. It's quite. Sorry? Okay, so this no more. If the drain is with the road department looks after. It has become very complicated. Road is no longer looked after by the municipal council. Even the road edges, the grass needs to be cut. That doesn't come under municipal council. that comes under roads, FRA.
We had the first flood in 1993. And it's a very large special. Next year it will be 50 years. In 1 year we have two.
But it doesn't matter who, but the question is how it can be fixed so that you don't have this regular problem. I mean, so much of time and money is wasted every year. So much of energy, right? Lifting things and taking it down, just doing that exercise. Perhaps by involving the community, just clearing it up would be a better option. And I will also talk to the municipal council if they can also come on board while you are doing that exercise. I will instruct them to come and help you as well in whichever way they can. So collectively we can fix that. Yeah.
When it will be flooded, the thing will be cleared very fast.
Yes, yes, yes.
Otherwise we have to wait 2 to 3 days like that.
And this would be a very good initiative from the community, because we have generally seen some of these floodings that you see in settlements or in other low-lying areas is simply because it's the people who throw their garbage in the drain.
That's a big problem.
They don't clear it, it gets clogged, next rain, flood starts. And then the flood water actually goes back into the house. You see? So everybody needs to understand the importance of making sure that the drains are cleared. Yeah. So look, I mean, I'll be happy to work with the management in ensuring that the drains are cleared with the help of the Batam Council. I will be meeting them after this, and I can instruct them that whenever you all are ready, then it can be a collective action from the community and the town council to work together to clear that up. Right? Other than that, I don't think you have any other issue. Huh?
That is the main problem.
That's the main one, yeah. So I guess I will chase up with the minister in terms of, because I saw the expression of interest, everything came out in the papers. Even number of our municipal council projects have been affected. There were times when border restrictions were made. People couldn't move from this border to that border. And then even when the border was slightly lifted, then again business community were affected. But now I guess we are slowly going back to some normalcy, not full. Yeah. All right, if there is nothing else and I need to move, I have to go to Bar Town Council. But thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us, and also for looking after the school so well, and for your contribution to the education sector, which we greatly appreciate. Yeah.